welcome to our very first episode. I am very excited. I have a very dear friend with me here today. Her name is Nancy Castro, originally. Now is Nancy Go. She is married. She just became a mommy, so congratulations.
Thank you.
I just met the little one. He has some really long eyelashes, guys. His eyelashes can go for miles. Cheers. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on becoming a mommy. I'm so happy for you, friend.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
So Nancy, I've known her for a very long time. I want to say about 12 years, right?
Yeah.
She's a very dear friend of mine and inspiration to me because she's very self-driven. She has accomplished so many things and she's a role model to me. So tell me a little bit about Nancy. Who is Nancy? Let's start with your job title. What is your job title and what do you do?
So I am a retail store manager. I do work for Nordstrom, and I've worked for them for almost 16 years now.
Wow.
So I started with them fresh out of high school. I was going to college and working for Nordstrom, and it was just supposed to be a part-time job. I didn't really think it would be my career. And, you know, as many of you probably have gone through really hard times, I had to help my family, and I had to make a tough decision of, was I going to try and go to school and try and support my family? And although I know many people are able to do that, at the time for me, it was really hard to juggle both. And so I decided that just working for Nordstrom was going to be my main focus because I needed to make money in order to help my family and pay rent and help with bills because we weren't in a good situation. So I worked with them for almost 16 years. I have been held many different positions, and it definitely hasn't been easy. But currently I am the retail store manager for one of the Nordstrom stores, and it has been such an amazing journey for me.
Well, what this podcast is about is trying to outline, as Latinos, we don't have much guidance. You mentioned a really great point, how you had to leave school to try to support your family. And we see that in our culture a lot. It's kind of sad in a way because I feel that us as like Latino community or Mexicans, we have this embedded in us that we need to help our families. And other cultures are a little bit more liberal in that. And here we are trying to struggle, putting yourself through school and having that burden of knowing that you have to help your family to make ends meet when in reality that's not your responsibility. As a young adult, somebody that's trying to figure out, navigate their lives. And so did your family tell you to leave school? Did they tell you don't go that path, or did they tell you, yeah, leave school and help us?
They didn't, and I think it's something like you said that we kind of put upon ourselves to think that we have to do certain things. And for me, you know, I think it's different for everyone. And like you said, I think down the road, I think now that I look back, I think I would have been able to support them more if I did finish school. And maybe I went a different route. And I think, you know, regardless of that, you know, I became successful and I'm really proud of where I am. But I think there was more hard work put in because I didn't have that aspect of it and I didn't finish school, which I think would have been a great accomplishment for me. But they didn't tell me to do it. And, you know, my dad was always pushing me to, you know, go to school and to do more and to get a degree. And I think for me, just family, you know, came first. And I've always been that way. I've always, you know, really wanted to help my family and, you know, be able to support them. So it's something that I put upon myself. But looking back, you know, I think things would have been different if I would have finished school.
Yeah. I know you said you've held many different positions since you started in Nordstrom 16 years ago.
Yeah.
How did that started? Were there promotions that you applied for, or how did you start off at Nordstrom first of all?
So my sister used to work for Nordstrom when I first started.
Mhm.
She had been there for a few years before me, and she said, I think it would be great if you do this while you're going to school. And she really loved working there. So I started there just as a salesperson. I was working off of the women's department, just doing the basic stuff, just running go backs, doing helping customers, just doing the basics that when you start at a company. And so after that, I think a year later, when I decided to leave school, I said, if I'm going to leave school, then I need to give this 100%. And I need to make sure that I'm, growing, developing, and making the best out of what I have. And so I was 100% invested. I became an assistant manager after a year of being there. And so that kind of, and you have to apply for those positions, but I busted my ass. Like, I worked so hard because I wanted people to notice that I wasn't just there for a paycheck, and that I didn't, not necessarily didn't care about anything else, just about the money. It really was that I was invested. I cared about the people, I cared about the customers, and I just did that every single day that I went into work. And so I became an assistant manager. After that, the opportunity came up to be a department manager. And so I just kept applying for those jobs when I felt like I was ready to take on additional responsibility and additional challenge. And after a few of those, I, became a store manager.
How did you know that Nordstrom Rack was where you were going to settle and build your roots there?
I think it was probably after 2 or 3 years of continuing to get promoted, it kind of just sunk in that that was something I was passionate about, that I really enjoyed working for the company. The pay was great, and I felt like one thing that I love about Nordstrom is that they promote from within, which means that they don't really bring too many outside employees for these specific jobs. So even if it's an assistant manager or a department manager or a store manager, they really want to be able to promote people from within their company that started in the roots of it all, because they understand, the customer, they understand the responsibilities and the roles, and how hard or, the things that you go through within those jobs. So I really enjoyed that about them, that I didn't have to necessarily, have a college degree, because in my case, I didn't have one, in order to eventually become a store manager or become something else within the company.
So with you having such an important role, you not having a degree, do you think that stopped you? Or kind of not stopped you because you have the title and you are in that role, but was it more complicated?
I definitely think that that's true in any job that you apply for. I think regardless if it's retail or, management or any other situation, I think it's not only about having that degree, it's about all the hard work that you put into this degree and the things that you learn along the way. People that have a degree have different sets of skills that I don't have because I didn't go to college. I consider myself a pretty smart person, and I just, I was able to get ahead because during high school and even in my first year of college, I put in the effort and I wanted to be the best. And so I learned a lot, and I have tools in order to become even a store manager without that degree. But would I be farther off down the pyramid if I had a degree? By all means, of course.
What does a day-to-day look like for a store manager at Nordstrom Rack?
So every day could look a little different, but I think on a normal day, it's all about the people, whether it's your employees or it's the customers. I think to me, one of the reasons why I love what I do is that you're able to inspire others. You're able to really boost their confidence, whether they want to grow with the company or whether it's personal and they're doing something outside of, work. And, I have a lot of students within the store, and it's just so inspiring to, be able to boost them and really push them to do their best to finish school and really achieve their dreams. So whether it's personal or whether it's goals within the company that they have, the people aspect is the most rewarding part of my job. Just being able to grow them and see them develop because they have the same dreams that I had when I was their age. So So a day in the life is coming into work, you know, say I love when I greet everyone, just saying good morning to everyone walking in, making sure that we get started for the day. And as a store manager, I'm sure it's the same for a lot of different companies, but you're responsible for employees, just making sure that you're being productive, that you boost their morale within the store, and that you create a happy environment for them to come in every day. So that's really important. Also just making sure that you're ready for the day for your customers. Once the doors open, you have to look their best because you want them to be able to shop and be inspired by the product that you're selling. So that's also really important. Making the day, of course, is one of the number one priorities, because without us making the day, we can't employ people, and we can't have employees, you know, we want to create those job opportunities for them. So there's that piece of it. You deal with customer issues. If someone has a complaint, they're definitely going to come and see you, or you're going to come and see them. So that's also a part that you have to, you know, deal with. You deal with a little bit of everything: the logistics, receiving a truck, putting the product out, any employee issues. You deal with all of that. You deal with making sure that your leaders within the store have the same morale, and are really pushing their team as much as you are, because they're a reflection of you. So you really are responsible for everything within the building, whether it's HR questions, you answer those as well as best as you can. Obviously there's resources, but you really do it all. At any given moment, you have anywhere from 35 to probably 50 employees in my store.
You handle or oversee 35 to 50 employees on a daily basis.
Yes.
Wow.
Depending on the season.
And I bet holiday seasons, I mean, after Thanksgiving,
you won't hear from me.
Don't hear from her at all. She is busy. And her husband too. They both do the same thing. So it's a busy household.
Yes, for sure.
Describe Nancy with 3 words.
Driven, caring, and I think compassionate.
I was just gonna say that. Compassion. What drives you every day?
I think now, definitely my family, and having a little baby is definitely, it changed my world completely. I think he definitely is my biggest drive. And I'm super emotional because I'm 1 month postpartum, but
Okay.
definitely.
Cheers. Cheers. No crying. Cheers to that, guys.
But I think he's definitely my biggest drive. He is my world right now. But I think even prior to having a baby, I think just, you know, myself, just being the best version of myself that I can possibly be, as well as my family.
Yeah. Well, first you were married, so you guys got to travel and enjoy each other, purchase a home, your second home, and her first home, her parents live in there. That's how passionate and motivated this woman is. She bought a house for her parents before buying a house for herself. She got married, bought a house for herself, and now, well, not. When she got married, they bought a house together.
Yeah.
Let me realize that, guys.
Don't let my husband hear that we left him out.
Jack is gonna be like, what do you mean she bought a house by herself? Where was I at? She got married, they bought a house. What is the definition of success?
And I think success can mean a lot of different things. I think, you know, for me, being successful means that I am able to, you know, feel proud of what I've done. And I think, you know, growing up, you know, when I was a child, growing up in my household was rough. I didn't have the easiest, you know, time growing up. And so all of that really motivated me to be better, to be a better parent, to be a better version each and every day, and make sure that, you know, I've lived a comfortable life. I never wanted to go without things that I truly wanted, and not that material things are the only thing, but I think success also means that you're able to help others if needed, that you feel comfortable and confident in, you know, the situation that you put yourself in. And so for me, that was success, being the best version of myself every day, and knowing that at the end of the day, when I went home or when I went to bed, that I was proud of what I've achieved.
Oh, cheers to that. You're gonna make me cry. Cheers.
Cheers.
Another question I have for you is, I know a big reason why I wanted to start this podcast is because we all have different upbringings. You know, I myself was raised by a strong Mexican American woman all by herself. She raised 3 children. How was the upbringing for Nancy?
It was, my dad was in and out of the picture, and so it was a little bit tough. My mom, you know, I have to say she definitely, you know, kept it together every day, even though it wasn't easy. And I think that was kind of one of the reasons why, you know, coming out of high school, I felt the need to help and make things better for her, because I knew that she had given up so much for us to make it work, to make it the best. And so it wasn't easy. You know, we lived in a household where there was a lot of fighting. There was arguments constantly. And so I wanted a better life for me and, you know, for my family. And so it wasn't easy, but I think all those things that you go through, all those tough times that you have to deal with only make you stronger. You know, it gave me the power and the will to say, you know what, I'm not going to stop until I have a better life. And, you know, it was a drive. You know, do I wish that upon myself? No, but did it help me? 100%.
Of course. Yep. Same here. I mean, I come from a single household, 3 siblings. Mom did as good as she could, and I think that is also my motivation to, I mean, I grew up in South Central. You know, it was tough. There's helicopters, cops, sirens left and right, fights. It's rough. I mean, now it's known as South LA. I mean, I grew up when it was South Central, so it's not easy. Seeing out on the streets, drugs, alcohol, prostitution. So yeah, it's definitely getting out of that environment and making something. Getting anywhere far away from that was my motivation, and I know that was probably your motivation as well.
Yeah, I think we're put in a situation or in environments that unfortunately it is what it is, right? Like we don't come from wealthy families. You know, we're first generation, so it really puts us in situations that are harder for us than maybe for other people that live in better neighborhoods. You know, I was telling my husband grew up, you know, in Pasadena, Glendale area, so it's a better neighborhood, right? Mm-hmm. So I was explaining to him how difficult it is, you know, going to school in South LA, where maybe you're not getting the same education that he received in his area, and so it already puts you at a disadvantage. So you already have to work and dedicate so much more and put so much more effort into anything you do, starting with school, because you're already at a disadvantage, which is really unfortunate.
It's true, because I mean, again, going back to school, I feel that kids that are in, I went to LAUSD school district. There was times where we didn't even have books. We weren't given books because there was no books. You know, what is wrong with that, guys? Now, you know, I'm fortunate enough to be living in a better school district where they provide laptops to my son, you know, now with this whole online schooling. And he doesn't understand how good he has it, honestly.
Yeah. Because
there's no way that LAUSD school district is so big, they cannot provide laptops for all those children, especially now that everything's online schooling. And my heart aches because of that. It's painful. I do very much appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate that you opened up. Let us know a little bit. If people need to apply to Nordstrom, how do they do so? I would like to ask if they can reach out to you on Instagram, maybe DM you, message you. Yeah. If they can be a good support, because this is something I was talking to a friend about. You know, once you do graduate, let's say you graduate school and stuff, and I feel like our community, we're not very close niche. We kind of like don't help each other out, honestly. I mean, it might not be you because we're friends, but within somebody else, you don't know them. It's like, oh, they're Latinos. No, no, no. You don't want to help them. Like, no, 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 no.
Or we're also really bad at asking for help.
We are. We're stubborn.
And just reaching out and saying, you know what, I need help. I need support. Or, hey, I need this. And it's really hard for us to admit that sometimes, which I think hurts us in the end because there's a lot of people that are willing to help.
We just have to look for those resources, guys. Please ask for help. Like she said, we are stubborn. I'm very stubborn myself. It's very, very hard for me to ask for help because it was embedded in me that, you know what, you got this, you can do it, figure it out. And that's kind of like how I've navigated my whole life, just trying to figure everything out on my own. But if people want to reach out to you, is that a possibility?
Of course.
On the description below, I will go ahead and put her information, her email address, or whatever she feels comfortable with providing me. And if you guys are looking for a job at Nordstrom, look at where she began. She began as a sales rep, and now she's a freaking store manager. For those that are interested and want to know, I know that money should never be your only motivation, but can you give us a ballpark? Don't tell me your whole salary. Give me a ballpark of what a store manager makes at Nordstrom Rack. For those that are interested, this can be your motivation.
Yes, it definitely, I think, regardless what stage, you're in, I think it's definitely, we have great opportunities, as a company, but even just reaching out and, asking questions, if anyone has any questions, or I know that some people, major in marketing or major in management, so if there's any questions that I can answer, please feel free to reach out. But for my position, it is a 6-figure salary. So so it's definitely something that, obviously it's not only about the money, but for a lot of us, it is about the money. I think if I wouldn't be able to live comfortably off of what I do, then also that's probably not the right job for me, because we still have to pay the rent, we still have to pay bills. And I know it's not all about, things and, or what money can buy, but I like nice things. So
guys, if that doesn't motivate you guys, I don't know what will. But of course, it's taken her 16 years to get there. She has done it. You guys, I will go ahead and put her information below. Subscribe to my channel. Please do not be disrespectful. If she tells me, hey, I was reached by so-and-so from the podcast and this person was rude, of course she will delete you guys, but I will stop releasing information of my of the people that attend my podcast. I would like for you guys to be professional as we are trying to be, and just be mindful that we all have feelings, so don't be rude. Let's help each other out. I want to create this network where we can all come together and feed off of each other's ideas and just be positive and support each other, right?
definitely.
Any last words you have for us?
I think just, one thing that's really helped me be successful is don't let anyone stop you from achieving your dreams. There's going to be a lot of roadblocks along the way, but those roadblocks are going to help you build yourself and be even stronger, and they're going to help you move on to that next stage. But don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something, regardless of how hard that dream might feel like it is. There's always going to be things stopping you along the way, but don't give up. Work hard, and dedication will definitely pay off.
Oh, well said. You guys, thank you for joining me here. Thank you for being here with this shot with Ellie. One last cheers. Cheers. Salud, guys. If you have any questions, hit her up. I'll put her information below once again. Thank you for being here. Bye.